Think the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF is good for Bitcoin? Think again. We have to dive into everything BlackRock because there is a potential attack vector from BlackRock. Before we do, we are at block height 807,078. It is 5:52 a.m. here. Next halving 32,922 blocks to go. Exchange 25,758. Sats per dollar 3,882. Let's just rip through this really quickly. Market cap still holding above 1 trillion, just down 1% last 24 hours. Quite a bit of red if you are interested in anything apart from Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, it is a red day for me. It's a buy day, 25,725. It is going down to the right over the last little while. We're not seeing it break above. We need to get it above 27 and 28,000, pushing towards 32. Nice place to be able to accumulate, really making the most of it at the moment. Red all over. Now, in regards to BlackRock and Larry Fink and Bitcoin and what they're doing with miners, it's absolutely insane. We've got a couple of things to talk about today. Vitalik scamming all his investors out there, unfortunately, so we will talk about that as well. It's making news. The Bitcoin ETF, the quiet 800-pound gorilla in the room, is about to roar. Couple of real quick things here. A Bitcoin ETF will likely be approved in the US by the end of 2023, so that's this year. The general public has no idea this is about to happen. Within Bitcoin, everyone is well aware. Mainstream media hardly covering it all. General public have no idea this is going on. So if you're here now, congratulations, pat on the back. You are early. The Bitcoin exchange traded fund have been highly sought after since 2013, when the first applications were submitted to the SEC and subsequently rejected. Over the past 10 years, the SEC has denied each of the several dozen ensuing proposals, including over 30 just since 2021. There are currently 10 active applications from major institutions. So a couple of developments lately. Obviously, BlackRock's ETF bid. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink has become our marketing manager. Larry has spoken favorably about Bitcoin since then. Bitcoin has a differentiating value versus other asset classes, but more importantly, because it's so international, it's going to transcend any one currency. Fink said his change of tune is remarkable, as he previously denounced Bitcoin as an index of money laundering back in 2017. What has everyone concerned here is the amount of Bitcoin miners that he is accumulating to have control over the network. We're going to dive into his miner allocation in a second. For Larry, arguably probably the most or one of the most powerful people in the entire world, the Fed asked Larry for advice. It's a very interesting dynamic. Assets under management only comes close, like the third largest. The GDP of both China and US have higher assets under management, have higher dollar value than us assets under management of BlackRock, which is pretty insane. Now, Grayscale's Cortwin development too, a separate but equally significant development in the direction ETF approval as the Aug 29 federal court ruling. Who says August? August, that's a little bit funny. Anyway, that the SEC was wrong to deny Grayscale investments filing for a spot Bitcoin ETF. Grayscale, let me bring this back up for you. My apologies. Grayscale previously applied to convert their Grayscale Bitcoin Trust to an ETF. The US Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia sided with Grayscale on its decision, stating, in the absence of a coherent explanation, this, unlike regulatory treatment of like products, is unlawful. The court also ruled that the SEC's denial of Grayscale's proposal was arbitrary and capricious. Now, it's reasonable to expect the SEC to approve several or even all of the filings at once. Kathy Wood, she thinks the SEC, if it's going to approve a Bitcoin ETF, will approve more than one at once. ARK Invest has the earliest final deadline for its filings, which is slated for January 10th, 2024. That's my thoughts here. We're going to get it early 2024 and probably then as well, January. Maybe we get them all at once. People are calling for the start of the year. Either way, it is happening, ladies and gentlemen. When it does, it is going to unlock a huge amount of capital into the space as well. So What's going on with BlackRock? How are they going to destroy Bitcoin? I'll give you the facts and I'll give you my opinion. We'll break this down for everyone. So listen, BlackRock strengthens crypto presence with large miner investment. Obviously, Bitcoin ain't crypto. Anyway, from the 30th of August 23, BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, invests in 4 leading Bitcoin mining companies despite traditional financial values. And I want to give you the reason why you should not be panicking straight away, even though everyone's up in arms about this recent development. Amid significant losses for mining companies, BlackRock has capitalized by purchasing shares cheaply, increasing its industry presence. Increasing, not entering with industry presence, increasing its industry presence. The value of BlackRock's mining investment stands at $411.5 million, boosting its influence in the Bitcoin Mining Council. So BlackRock has invested in 4 of the 5 largest Bitcoin mining companies by market cap. We will get into what those are in a tech. There's one more thing here. Still, its holdings increase the influence of BlackRock funds advisors in the Bitcoin Mining Council. BMC is an American Bitcoin mining lobby group. This is what a couple of people are worried about here. If they have influence and they have all this power and they've invested in the top 5, they've invested in 4 out of the top 5 mining companies, and now they've got such a influential role within the Bitcoin Mining Council. Could they do a 51% attack? We'll get into that. BlackRock joins Fidelity and Vanguard as Bitcoin mining investor. Now look at this. This is from August 19, 2021. This article is more than 2 years old. And this is very important to be aware of, because BlackRock hasn't just entered the Bitcoin mining space overnight. It hasn't just happened in August this year. If you were to get your news from Twitter, everyone would think so. And they think this is a recent development, and then all the FUD happens. Now, if BlackRock announced this during the bull market, obviously the price would be higher already, but it'd lead to higher and higher prices, because we're still in the bear market time-wise, but where we are, and we don't have that FOMO, they've gone in, they've bought the dip, they've increased their position there, and people are reporting on it like it's FUD, like it's not a good thing, and there are reasons for it. So let's stick with the facts, and this is going back to 2021, and you're going to find it very interesting. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager with 9 trillion assets, obviously they've increased in AUM since then, has taken significant stakes in 2 Bitcoin miners, 6.7% in Marathon Digital, 6.61% in Riot Blockchain. Total capital commitment amounts to $382.96 million. And at the moment, they got 411 million within Bitcoin miners. Where is that number here? 411.5. So from 382, that's just under, that's like 29,000. So it's really not much extra in 2 years that they've put in there. So if it wasn't an issue 2 years ago, and now it's an issue because they're putting out spot Bitcoin ETF, the space is whack. If that's the case, and that's my humble opinion, what I would rather think in here is BlackRock wants to just integrate as much as possible with the blockchain. They want to control everything with these miners that we'll get into. So these are the top 5 miners. We've got Riot Platforms, $1.92 billion market cap. Marathon Digital Holdings, $1.83 billion. Cypher Mining, $0.74 billion. HUD 8, $500 million market cap. TeraWulf, $0.41 billion. Let's see when this was, August 28. Recent enough, close enough. I did bring them up here as well. Actually, BlackRock's gone up a fair bit. Oh, Riot, my apologies. 2.02 Marathon, 1.9. Digitalcurrency is coming there, 1.28. Cypher Mining, 0.75. CleanSparks, 0.67. HUD 8 and TeraWulf have been pushed out a little bit there. Regardless, this two BlackRock minus HUD 8 have invested in. If it wasn't a problem 2 years ago and it's a problem now because they're putting out a spot Bitcoin ETF, well, I think they've got bigger problems on their hands because they are so entrenched. The attack vector here is they could get all these miners to come together. Way more than 51% of the Bitcoin mining pool is under KYC now. They know who everyone is. So if those miners were to go offline but not change their IP address, they'd be so aware of who they are. Because we have mining pools and the decentralized nature of Bitcoin, if BlackRock was to start an attack vector, maybe not so much with these mining companies, but with mining pools in general, they'd need to be able to bring them into the mix as well. It's not going to happen. Miners are just going to leave because the incentives would destroy Bitcoin. It's going to leave it with no value if that was to happen here. So let's move on. This is a huge deal for crypto in general, not so much Bitcoin, even though they are throwing Bitcoin in here for their SEO. And then I want to talk about Vitalik absolutely scamming his community. Took a lot out. Good morning, local loop. So good to see you bright and early. Another Aussie up at 6 a.m. in the morning. With Visa, this is a huge deal. They revealed crypto payments bombshell that could cause Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, XRP, Cardano, Doge, Solana, Tron, and Toncoin price cash. I've not heard a Toncoin. Can anyone enlighten me with what? Like, why the hell do we need so many blockchains? Like Bitcoin and Ethereum, or Bitcoin, Solana, or whatever, or just Bitcoin. Like, all we need is Bitcoin. But if you want something else, can everyone just not get together and work on this one thing instead of like being so fragmented? What's the point of it? If someone can explain that to me, I'd be grateful. Now, payments giant Visa has said it will ramp up its use of Circle's USDC stablecoin on its network, potentially opening the door to future Bitcoin and crypto expansion. Visa will increase experiments using Circle's USDC to improve the speed of cross-border payments, and will begin sending the US dollar pegged USDC to merchants, selected merchants, via the Solana blockchain in a newly announced pilot. Expanding the pilot exemplifies how pairing USDC with Visa's innovation opens up the future of payments, commerce, and financial applications. In this early stage, we're really just given the option to send or receive USDC instead of a bank wire, but we're not sending money out faster, receiving money in faster necessarily. Ku Sheffield, Visa's head of crypto, told Fortune, over time, I think that there's potential to start doing that. So the writing's on the wall. Stables will become de facto interbank settlement solution via card networks. Even my non-crypto fintech friends are fired up about this. Crypto venture capitalist Nick Carter posts on Twitter X. With that there, that's very exciting. That's really cool. For anyone invested in the Ethereum ecosystem, that's where USDC first launched, or Solana by default, that's what they'll be using. Come the bull run, it may work out really well for you. At the end of the day, to me, it's a CBDC in disguise. It's a what is it? A lamb? No, a fox, a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's what that is there. So be bullish about it as much as you like. They are going to bring in KYC, mark my words. And we're seeing that with MetaMask already. They are allowing withdrawals if you KYC. So Vitalik Buterin's X account hacked. Over 691, I like how it says 69 in there, drained from victims' wallets. Following the breach of Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin's X, formerly Twitter account, victims allegedly suffered losses exceeding 691,000 due to a malicious link falsely promoting a free NFT. In the article, they do ask for him to be able to refund everyone. He's got the money. I expect that he will do that. Although, why should anyone bail anyone else out? If his operational security was not good, obviously, but the people that got hacked, it's really hard because everyone looks up to Vitalik Buterin so much. But if they just stop and think and confirm first, or not have everything in their hot wallet, is what has happened with some of these people. We'll get into these stories. That's crazy. So this is father tweeting on behalf of Vitalik. Disregard this post. Apparently Vitalik has been hacked. He is working on restoring access. Hackers shared a malicious link to an alleged free commemorative NFT available. It's really hard. It's done very clever and done on Vitalik's account. But you shouldn't have everything in a hot wallet. It makes absolutely no sense. Even secure it with a hardware wallet. Anyway, each their own, enticing victims to connect their wallets before ultimately stealing all their funds. This is horrific. So that was the tweet there. I actually saw it when it came up. Zach ZBT has been actively informed his 438,200 followers about the hacker's activities. He recently shared the most valuable NFT pilfered so far as a CryptoPunk worth 153.62 ETH, about $250,000 left in a hot wallet. Absolutely insane. I hate to be the one to say it, but Vitalik should take accountability for his poor operational security and compensate those affected. He stated, this is Satoshi767. Like how it's Satoshi, definitely a Bitcoiner feeding it to him. And while we shouldn't be nasty to each other, Vitalik needs to take some accountability for this. The people that lost the money need to take accountability for this. Everyone that participated needs to take extreme ownership for this. Not your keys, not your coins. If it's on a hot wallet, it's not yours either, clearly. I hate to be the one to say it, blah, blah, blah. So the only way this isn't negligence on Vitalik's part is if someone at X internally compromised the account, or if he was coerced in person by a criminal who threatened violence. Highly doubt that's what happened. Most likely this was a SIM swap. However, Zach ZBT challenged those allegations, asserting that Buterin's high profile makes him susceptible to various forms of hacking attempts. You do not know yet whether it was a SIM swap. Vitalik is a big enough target to where an insider could have been paid off or panel was used, Zach ZBT stated. Can someone explain in the comments what a panel is? A panel was used. Now, the G20 are all getting together. They're all friends. We'll go through this pretty quick. Moves forward with international crypto framework. The upcoming, and don't be alarmed, this is coming, but it's not coming for a while here. We have the sunrise happening below. You can see that in the background. So the upcoming framework will affect users in several countries by automatically exchanging information about crypto transactions between jurisdictions on an annual basis. Now, leaders of the 20 biggest economies in the world, collectively known as G20, are pushing for a speedy implementation of cross-border framework for crypto assets. The framework will facilitate information exchange between countries beginning 2027. Why I point out this framework is it is happening, but the G20 have endorsed that crypto is still going to be here and by default Bitcoin in 2027. So people that are coming in for fast profits maybe have a longer term view. If the G20 has got a long-term view in regards to Bitcoin, digital assets, even crypto, I believe we should too. If they can, we can. And we've been ahead of them the whole time. Let's not change that. Also, now's a good time, not financial advice for sure. Buy non-KYC Bitcoin, get it off your exchange and hold it. Cold, deep storage. Anyway, we might bring out some videos on how that is possible. Several countries would be affected by the upcoming framework. So this is the G20, Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, the United Kingdom, the USA, as well as the European Union. 2/3 of the world's population lives in a G20 country. Crypto transactions are already subject to new disclosure standards in many countries. In May, the EU approved updated rules to adhere to the CAF settings procedure for automatic information sharing between European governments for tax purposes. As per the new rules, the transfer of digital assets should be accompanied by the name of the beneficiary's distributed ledger address, as well as the beneficiary's account number. Now, the group also endorsed recommendations from the Financial Stability Board for the regulation, supervision, and oversight of crypto asset activities and markets and of global stablecoin arrangements. According to the announcement, so this was published in July, the recommendation sets similar standards for stablecoins as commercial banks and urged regulators to prohibit any activities hindering the identification of involved participants, among other recommendations. That's pretty interesting. Stablecoins, same regulation is required as banks. Wow, that's crypto. That's the revolution that you're a part of, making the G20 leaders change their rules, their regulations to be able to keep up with the innovation that's happening. They're the G20 members. That guy that threw 8,000 Bitcoin into the landfill is threatening to bankrupt a local council. The only reason I bought this here, they've been pretty firm on him. I doubt they're going to allow him to do it due to A spokesperson said the council has told Mr. House multiple times that excavation is not possible under our environmental permit, and that work of that nature would have a huge negative environmental impact on the surrounding area. So it's more than likely they're not going to allow him to undertake any work at all. He is going to fail with suing the council. He threw it away. He threw it to trash. It's no longer his property. That's the way I see that playing out. A good friendly reminder to get your Bitcoin off exchanges. Put it into a cold storage. I've brought this up. It sort of relates. Daz B, I interviewed him. He wrote the book. I've given it away. I ordered 4 more copies. He's given me a 5th one to donate to the library. That's how great this guy is. From LookingGlassEducation.com. It's a free website. If you need help, reach out to him. They've helped heaps of plebs reach out. They've had heaps of plebs reach out for help in thinking about self-custody, multi-sig, collaborative custody, self-managed super funds. Dad's got a few spots left for the week if you want to have a chat. Consults are free, 165 USD if you want us to hold your hand in your self-custody, including a recording, which is amazing. Then Peter Dunworth, he was on Peter McCormack's channel over the weekend. I interviewed Peter's brother on Friday. I've got a video with Peter Dunworth out there already. You need to check it out. He's talking about a $7 billion Bitcoin, and now he thinks that's bearish, and he's raised it to some extreme amount. And I don't want to spoil it for you, but watch my video first because it's great with Peter, and then go on. So you get that price prediction, you anchor it, and then go watch the Peter McCormack video straight after and see over that time frame how that has changed. It's absolutely hilarious. But what he's saying here is Australia's only Bitcoin conference, Bitcoin Alive, is back next year, 23rd of March. Beat the crowd, secure early bird tickets now. It's got a link below. I will be going, and bitcoinalive.io there as well. Not affiliated, but I definitely do endorse them. Hope to see everyone there. It's been a real pleasure this morning. Be blessed. Peace. We'll see you.